All right, friends, it's Timon, and I'm back with a new video. And my request on my channel, someone who writes in the comment section on my channel, his name is Savage Boy. He asked me to go over to EnkiriElite's channel to check out or to do a reaction video to one of his videos. He said this recent video, I think it's this one, I'm not sure. He did do another one called Plateau, but we are going to review this video by the lifting slave himself, man, Enrique Fitness, yes. EnkiriElite Fitness. So Enrique says, never lift slow on purpose. Why tempo lifting is overrated for hypertrophy. Yeah, I mean, man, this hypertrophy thing, I think this guy has no clue what he's talking about, but whatever. We've seen his channel. We've done videos on my old channel before YouTube took my old channel because of copyright. I've done so many videos on these guys, man, where this guy fell on his face. He was walking with weight and he fell on his face, okay? Pot singers, he doesn't do those videos anymore either. He does scientific videos now. He used to have them posted on his channel. We used to post these on our channels. He took them off his channel, and me, I lost my channel, so I just have this new channel. I don't have the old stuff anymore, but I wish I did. If this is the best he could do, this hypertrophy, look at him. Look at his body and his body weight. I mean, he says hypertrophy. What muscle did he build? This guy is a real lifting slave, man. I'm not joking. This guy is an absolute lifting slave, but I don't see it, man. I don't see anything here. As far as that so-called muscle he's carrying there, it's a little bit of glycogen, some inflammation, whatever. There's nothing going on there. It's trying to impress you with these pictures. It's not working, man. But anyways, okay, let's review this video.
If your objective in the weight room is to build as much muscle and strength as possible, then using tempo lifting as a frequent training modality is not...
Okay, so listen to what he says. Going to the gym, lifting weights to build muscles. Well, weights don't build fucking muscles, man. What fucking part do people out there not understand? A weight doesn't have a power, doesn't have magic powers to magically build a muscle. You understand me? It's either stressing your body, causing inflammation, or it can damage your muscle fibers and causing your body to go through a repair and a remodeling. And then a donation of these nuclei to support real muscle growth. But you can lift and build sarcoplasmic muscle, but it is not overseen by follistatin, myostatin, or the satellite cell. And if you don't understand those things, man, I think you need to go back to science or something. Go back to school, and you have to study these things. I don't know. I've done them on my new channel. Because people were asking me. I brought them up. There's studies in my community section, but they're way down because I keep posting videos, studies. I post stuff all the time, man. So they're hard to find now. But I do have videos. One guy asked me, can you do a list there? I haven't done a list, okay? I just haven't. I should have. So people could find this information a lot quicker. But it's on my channel. You can scroll down my videos. You'll probably find them. Anyway, it's complex, man. The whole damage part is complex as well. There are 3 levels to damage. And even if you got minute damage, sometimes your body just forgoes the growth. It just doesn't do anything there. It has to be very specific, the damage. You have to be doing very specific things to get this damage to build real muscle. Now, but like I said, if you want to build sarcoplasmic muscle, you can go and lift weights and eat. It's not even dependent on eccentric or concentric, okay? It's dependent on eating a lot of complex carbohydrates. That's all, complex. And I would stay away from rice because rice has arsenic in it. Why would you want to eat something that's poisonous like arsenic and lift weights? So you want to poison yourself slowly. So you want to deteriorate slowly by lifting weights on top of it. Eating a toxic rice with arsenic in it. That's just insane. But whatever. People each to their own. Look, man, you can eat potatoes. But remember, you are a carnivore. You should not be eating potatoes. You should not be eating any fruits or vegetables, okay? I'm sorry. That is the plain truth. But it's up to you. Now, like I said, in lifting weights, in weightlifting or bodybuilding, whatever you want to call this, there are two types of lifts. There's eccentric, concentric, okay? On the concentric, on the down force, you can handle more weight on the down force than you can on the up force. But you could get injured if you go really slow. You don't want to go slow, you want to go fast so you don't get injured. That's the whole point. You want to your reaction, your movements, they have to be rapid. You want rapid movements so you don't get injured. That's number one. Now, but as well as are you focusing on mostly eccentric because you're trying to damage the muscle fibers? But here's the thing. Even if, let's say they're protected by the repeated bout effect, they're not getting damaged anymore. We already know all these things, man. They're not getting damaged after repeated bout. All right, you come into the gym, first training, untrained, first training, satellite cell fusion, hypertrophy, bam. There's no more donations of the nuclei by the satellite cell because they've reached a ceiling limit during that hypertrophic process, and boom, okay? So you need to get another damaging cycle. But let's say you're not getting any more because you're coming in too often, you're adapted, whatever, to your exercises, okay? So what happens? Nothing. You can stretch. You can cause stretches to the muscle fiber and try to get the muscle fiber to get bigger by doing multiple stretches. Okay, that's going to be astronomically difficult because how's that working out for our good friend, what's his name? Prophet Fear on his channel. He's always doing these stretches all the time, stretching. Is he getting any bigger from all these stretches? You see people getting bigger from lifting weights, eating like fucking bagels? Hell no, man. So what's going to make you bigger? When protein synthesis exceeds breakdown, and if you do get some muscle damage, and you get a donation of these nuclei to support further real muscle growth of myofibrillar growth. But like I said, you can fake it to make it by eating a shitload, 100-pound bag of potatoes and go in the gym and do any kind of lifts, eccentric, concentric. Now, eccentric is going to be associated with mostly motor unit. There's motor unit recruitment. And there's no damage in concentric exercises. Okay, that's a majority of people in the gym are doing concentric. I'm about to get to the point here on this video. They're doing a majority of concentric. They're not doing eccentric movements. Okay, and so they're eating glycogen, whatever the fuck. They're eating carbohydrates, and they're building these carbohydrate muscles. They're eating an artificial diet, creating artificial muscles called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy muscles. Hypertrophy just means something's getting bigger. You can get inflammation in your body, and your muscles can hypertrophy through inflammation. Does that mean you build muscle? Fuck no. See what I mean? So if you get a lactic acid buildup and your muscles, and they look massive because of the lactic acid buildup, did you build muscles? They hypertrophied, right? Did you build muscle? Hell no. See what I mean? So you eat a lot of, people eat more carbohydrates than they do protein, and they get massive. That's just weight you're carrying. You're actually, and the truth is, you're really just fat. You're getting fat. That's all I could tell you. But you are a carnivore animal. You should just eat meat. And you will find it is astronomically difficult to build real muscle if you just eat your natural diet as a carnivore, meat and seafood, whatever, meat, animal products. You're going to find you're going to see that it's not what you thought it was. It's not what you thought it was. It's very difficult. And this guy is full of shit. He ain't building any muscle. The only thing he's doing is getting better at lifting a fucking heavy weight. That's it. Because that's all he's interested in.
Going to be congruent with your goal. The presumed superiority.
Here's the thing. Look how heavy he's going. And he's just bending. He's not really curving his back and then bringing his back up. See, here's the thing. You need a curvature on the downforce. You don't want to go heavy on this exercise. You don't want to go astronomically heavy. Why? Because you want to cause damage to the muscle fibers in your back. So it needs a curvature, just like your bicep. The weight needs to curve and come back up again. But look how straight and stiff he is. Where's all the stress going? On the lower part of the back. That's all he's doing. He's stressing his body. He's not doing anything here. And so you want to start with a moderate weight so that you can cause a relative amount of damage so that it's stronger. So then the next time you come back, it's a lot stronger so it can handle a heavier weight. When you do a curvature and try to cause, on the downforce, try to cause it to stretch the muscle fiber to cause it to damage. See the difference? But he's not doing that. He's really just getting better at lifting a heavy weight. That's it.
Of this protocol as a primary training modality is
right there how flat his back was. It's flat. There's a stiff movement. Most of it's coming from the hip area and the lower back.
Still hardwired into Gen Pop fitness lore.
Right there. Look at his back. Look at him. He's sticking his butt out in the air. This exercise, you shouldn't even. It should be curved. Your back should be curved because you want to stretch it. See what I mean? But this would be too heavy to stretch with such an astronomically huge amount of weight there. You'd fucking get an injury. You know what I mean? You'd herniate a disc. So that's why you have to start with a moderate weight and do multiple repetitions to cause it to damage so that it can go through a repair and remodeling and get bigger and stronger. With real muscle. Yeah.
And as such, this topic needs to be debunked once and for all, as the long-term results it provides are going to be highly sub.
So his exercise is mostly concentric there. There's no eccentric. It was a concentric exercise. Garbage. Next.
Par. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoy content like this, then please consider supporting my work by picking up a training program.
Okay, he's doing push-ups. You're flat on the floor. You're flat on the floor. The reason why people do dumbbells, they sit on these they lay down on a bench press or a dumbbell, or they do dumbbells on a fucking bench. The bench will allow your elbows to go much further down than they would normally go. So this is a really, man, I'm going to tell you the truth. This fucking exercise is really concentric. There's no eccentric here. Forget it.
From my website, it's www.EnkiriEliteFitness.com. I have over 60 5-star reviews on Google. You can check them out for yourself. And if you do, your gains will thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. The primary reason for this is due to a lack.
He's trying to make it look like there's some eccentric here. It's all concentric. It sucks. It's shit. That's it. There's nothing going on here. There's no damage of the muscle fiber. There's no stretch on it, and there's no damage. If there's no eccentric, there's no stretch, no damage. There's nothing. There's no growth. Zero growth. If anything, go eat some potatoes and go grow those sarcoplasmic muscles by doing this. Remember, if you run up a stairwell, that is concentric, running up a stairwell. What is that associated with running uphill? Running uphill is associated with what? Endurance. So if you're lifting a weight in the up direction, that's endurance. Get it? And so you're adapted to your exercises and you're coming in and you're doing them often. That's endurance. And because you're lifting a heavy weight, you're just firing motor units, androgen receptors, whatever, for force production. You're getting better at lifting a heavy weight. That's all you're really fucking doing. That's why many people complain about, I'm getting a stronger, but I'm not getting a bigger. No, you're getting a better at lifting a heavy weight, but you never got physically bigger and stronger. See what I mean? Because you left out the eccentric work to try to get this damage. See what I mean? But if you're trying to get damaged and go through a repair and remodeling, you can't focus on concentric work. You don't want to focus on it. You understand me? Because you'll be exhausted because it is associated with endurance lifting.
Lack of adequate training intensity.
All science that I have put up recently, again, I put it up on my community section. Scroll down a bit, you'll see it. I'm telling you, eccentric exercises are superior for strength and hypertrophy when it comes to lifting, unlike concentric. It tells you that everywhere in PubMed and CBI because they've done tests on it. It's a known fact, and I'm talking from experience, bro.
Weight on the bar relative to the potential 1-rep max. Basically, how much weight you can cleanly lift within any given rep.
This guy is just wasting his time, man.
range. And this is really where the main failing of the tempo lifting theory rears its head. Generally accepted ideology.
Okay, I like that one. He almost did like a full eccentric movement there at the bottom. But did he have to go all the way up? No, you don't have to go all the way up. You could go partially up and then go back down again. Let your ass hit your heels. That's all you have to do. You have to focus on the eccentric part because that's the part what will cause the damage to the muscle fiber. Going all the way up, standing up like this, you think that's damaging muscle fibers? Just moving around up there at the top somewhere? No, nothing's going on there. That's going to exhaust you.
Theology says that if you are lifting to maximize hypertrophy, then you're
right there. See, he's sitting down, which is really good. Does he have to go all the way up? No, I'll show you.
That should last somewhere between 30.
Right there is good enough. He doesn't have to go any higher up. Now he has to go back down again. He should go up about that much and go down. The more stress and the more stretch you get on the thigh, the more damage you'll get. If you are unadapted.
60 seconds or perhaps even longer.
See, but he went all the way up to the top. What's the purpose of that? See what I mean?
So proponents of tempo lifting generally argue something like this. A normal rep takes about 3 seconds to perform. So if you do 10 reps in a set at
and look at him, he's like resting, like with each rep, he's just like hanging around there. It needs to be rapid firing and it needs to be fast. They will not damage.
3 seconds each rep, then that set only took 30 seconds to complete, which barely reaches the
He's a poor lifter and a poor coach. Doesn't know what he's doing, man.
quote-unquote hypertrophy zone. On the other hand,
yeah, hypertrophy zone. Where's all the hypertrophy? Where are you? Look at you. Where's the hypertrophy, dude? You've been lifting on this channel, Lifting Slave, for the last 20 years. Where is the hypertrophy? Have you fallen on your face again, walking with the weight out in the street there by the garage? Jesus, man. I thought you died.
if you were to perform this same set using a 303 tempo, that is 3 seconds during the eccentric phase and 3 seconds during the concentric phase, then each rep
Look,
would...
he's not even, he's pulling himself up slowly, but he just drops his body down because there's nothing going on here. The eccentric is the most important part of the exercise when you're bringing your body weight down.
Take 6 seconds
Look at him. He just like dropped, but look how fast he goes up to the top.
to perform.
Let's see.
Double the length of a normal rep. This means that the whole set will...
All right. So why is he going so slow going up to the top? Because it's endurance. It's going to be a lot harder going up to the top, but it's going to be a lot easier going down, right? See what I mean? But you shouldn't go down so quickly either.
Now take 60
Watch,
seconds
drop.
to complete.
Took him 1 second to go down. It took him 3 seconds to get up. It took him 1 second to drop.
Which now puts you firmly into the hypertrophy zone for all of your training sets that day. You are now maximizing hypertrophy. Hooray for you. Here's the problem with this logic.
Count to
Rooted
1,
in
2,
the fact
3. 1, 2, 3. See that? Now watch him drop.
See that time under tension
Now let's count again.
in and of itself has
Ready?
some sort of magical hypertrophic value.
1, 2, 3.
It could never actually happen this
One.
way.
There you go, man. That says it all. You people are intelligent. You can see for yourself. The eyes don't fucking lie.
If you double the length of each rep, artificially doubling the duration of the set to reach this
I'm glad he can run, actually. He can sprint, which is a good thing. But he's a young guy. What do you expect? He should be able to sprint. He's young.
arbitrary amount of consecutive time under tension that you think you need to reach in order to maximize muscle growth.
Do you think he's going to be running like this when he's like 85 years old? If he ever reaches 85, or let's say, I'll be nice, 75. You think he's going to be running this fast at 65 or 75, at 65 years old? You think he's going to be running this fast on this field? Ask yourself that question. You think he'll be running that fast? What exactly is he doing here?
Then one of two things will inevitably happen. One, You will use the same training weight that you usually use when you're doing normal
Right.
reps.
That is a concentric exercise. There's no eccentric here. It's all concentric. Look.
And you will get substantially less reps with it when
And
you were doing
he rests it. He doesn't, there's no stretch. He rests it on top of this thing, the metal.
tempo reps, meaning the time under tension of the individual set won't actually be.
What time under tension? There's no mechanical tension. Mechanical tension means that you're not resting between each rep. You're doing 10 reps straight in a row. That's mechanical tension. That's what they, man, listen, in lifting, when they say fucking mechanical tension, they fucking mean it. They mean that the weight is not resting in between reps, okay? You understand me? That's the whole point. That's mechanical tension. That's what they're talking about. Mechanical tension, as many repetitions in that one set that you're doing multiple reps to cause it to fucking damage. And you want to focus on the eccentric because that's what damages muscle fibers. Concentric exercise does not damage muscle fibers.
All that different anyway
It exhausts it.
than if you had just performed normal fucking reps. Or two, you'll realize that by using the same weight you usually use, you could never actually get.
Again, this is great if you want to get really good at just lifting this. If you want to be a lifting slave and be good at lifting that weight, then keep doing that. But you're going to have to do that forever and ever and ever and ever.
Close to getting the same amount of reps as usual, so you will reduce the weight instead, likely being forced to do so by a significant margin. Now, with that reduced weight, you will be able to get the same number of reps as usual, and you'll be able to artificially increase the time under tension of the set. However,
Listen to what he said. Artificially increase. Artificially. You're eating an artificial diet. You're lifting artificial weight. Yeah, okay.
along with the substantial.
Again, this is mostly this is, even though he's going down with the weight, this is, and then, man, I'm telling you, this is a concentric exercise he's doing. There's no eccentric here. There's no eccentric.
Reduction in weight will come a substantial reduction in muscle tension. Now, if you chose option one,
There's tension, which is going to cause inflammation.
then that would defeat the entire purpose of the tempo lifting method, because the time under tension would remain relatively equal in both scenarios. You would just be.
Yeah, I would say this is what you would call mechanical tension, because somewhat, but he stopped at the top. He paused. So really, is this mechanical? Not really, particularly, because he stopped. He stopped. Look.
Doing exaggerated tempo reps.
He keeps stopping at the top and then he lowers it again. The tension has to be exclusive. It has to be up and down. That's why when you're doing eccentric exercises, there's always more tension there because there's no lockout. There's no requirement for lockout. So you don't have to do a full concentric exercise when you're focused on doing eccentric. Get it? That's why it's going to cause the muscle to damage.
For no reason but getting less total reps in your set, and therefore actually doing way less total work because there would be way less total bar displacement. And if you chose option 2, you would at least be remaining true to the spirit of the tempo method, but the lessened intensity would inevitably yield lackluster long.
Here's the thing. Again, you could do more, you can handle more force or more weight on the eccentric than you could on the concentric. You understand me? So you could use astronomically heavy weight on the eccentric on doing particular lifts that you can manage. In other words, you could usually do more than you would normally do in the concentric on the eccentric, because also remember, gravity is pulling you. It's pulling down. You're going with gravity and the weight at the same time. So you should be able to handle a lot of weight on the down force. And that's what's going to cause more damage to the muscle fiber. That's what's going to make you much more stronger eventually, and a whole bunch of stuff. Eventually, these motor units, you'll recruit them as well. And you'll be able to damage the muscle fibers and get the donation of these nuclei to support further muscle growth. You understand? Of that myonuclear domain by the satellite cell, yes. It'll support it. It will support further muscle growth because you'll tax the muscle with heavier weight. You're going to damage the deeper, weaker muscle fibers, which haven't been damaged, and then they'll go through a repair and a remodeling. That's the whole point.
Results in spite of the increased time under tension. This is the issue with pretending like individual metrics such as time under tension offer some sort of panacea for gains. The weight being used.
This wasn't so bad. This wasn't, what he's doing here is not so bad. There's a curvature, there's somewhat of a curvature in his back, but there's too much tension. You have to let it freely pull. You have to allow it to drag the muscle. The weight has to drag it, to pull it down, to stretch it.
During a given exercise directly affects the...
There, he's a little bit too flat here now. That previous rep, it stretched. But again, there's no time on attention here because there's no requirement. There's no requirement to go to the top and wait a few minutes like he does. Look, watch.
Amount of tension that is placed on the muscles.
Count. How long is he at the top now? Where's all the tension? Where's the mechanical tension?
Responsible
One,
for
two,
executing
three, 4, 5,
you can
6,
flex
7.
and contract.
Oh, 8. We counted to 8 and he finally went back down again. Why is he waiting? What's he waiting for?
Your biceps nonstop all day long against the air, and they will never grow.
That's why I make fun of these people. I say they're shitty workouts. You understand? Come back with your shitty workout thinking that's going to damage these muscle fibers. They ain't going to do fuck all, man.
Even though
you need to put fucking effort into it to damage these muscle fibers. They don't damage. They don't want to damage. They don't want to grow bigger and stronger. You understand me?
they're under perpetual, constant tension. The fact is...
No, they're not. They're not on constant under tension. He's lying, because look at him. Let's count. 1, that was 1, 2,
maximal
3,
voluntary
4, 5,
contractions
6, 7,
and
8,
contractions
9,
against
10,
only
11,
mildly
12,
challenging
13.
loads.
13. I counted to 13 by the time he went down again. What tension? He's a liar.
Simply cannot generate high enough muscle tension to create a meaningful stimulus for the body to adapt to, no matter...
Enough tension, a meaningful what? Stress to adapt to? You want it to adapt to the stress, or you want the body to get an adaptation in muscle damage and then and a growth and a repair and a remodeling? What the fuck are you talking about?
No matter how long those contractions last. Thus,
Hi, Tiny.
Long those contractions last. Thus, time under tension as a sole metric is meaningless.
Oh, now this would be considered a concentric exercise. Yes. Now this